everybody. I am so excited to be here tonight cooking with you guys. Another one of our 15-minute meal series. So we're doing this all the way until January. Every week I'm coming on with a quick, easy, healthy, family-friendly 15-minute or less recipe. Last week I crushed it with those peanut noodles. Those were like 10 minutes or less. They were so good. So I'm back tonight with a creamy ricotta pasta with mushrooms and spinach. So if this doesn't scream cozy, like curl up by the fire kind of meal, I don't know what does. So I'm gonna run through the ingredients, but before we dive in, I'm Kate Horning. For those of you guys who are new here or who don't know me, I am a chef, I'm a nutritionist, I'm the creator of A Healthy Passion, which is a meal planning app that I created to help busy women just like you know exactly how to eat to reach your health and fitness goals. And it literally asks for some information when you sign up, and you can build a meal plan in minutes with a click of a button. It also integrates with carb cycling, so if you check the carb cycling box when you sign up, it literally will lay out a carb cycling plan for you. So if you're not using it, go check it out. I'll link it in the comments below, ahealthypassion.com. But it is a game changer. Even if you just plan a couple of meals a week, I can promise it will completely transform those busy weeknights, cut the stress, and give you healthy meals on the table with ease. So let's go in. Let's go ahead. I'm so excited. Let's go ahead and run through the ingredients. So if you guys are cooking this at home, if you want to follow along, as always, the full recipe will be in A Healthy Passion next week. So I put the exact measurements, the nutrition information, everything will be in the app. But again, you can cook it right along with me if you want. First ingredient we need, our pasta. I actually am using, I don't know where the container is, but this really cool shape I just found. Pasta, as long as it's the same grams in weight, it's pretty much the same nutrition information wise, but this is like a little spiral. I thought it was cute, so I got that. Of course, our ricotta cheese. I just have a full fat organic. I always buy organic with dairy when I can, and full fat's the way to go with cheese. It's just so much better. Garlic and shallots, those are gonna be our aromatics, really flavor the sauce. I've got some mushrooms. I'm not using this whole thing, but I'm using about 4 ounces of mushrooms, some thyme, and some spinach. I think that's everything. And then I'm going to finish it with pecorino romano cheese. You can finish it with pecorino romano, parmigiano reggiano, or no cheese at all. This will not be, I don't think, included in the nutrition information unless I can really taste it. But I just love to finish off my dish with a little bit of cheese. Okay, so first things first, we're gonna start with the pasta. So the pasta's gonna take about 8 minutes to cook, I would say. So I wanna get that in immediately. So I've got a pot of boiling water. One tip I wanna share with you guys, whenever you are cooking pasta, is always salt your pasta water. And I do this because it actually flavors the pasta. It's the only time you can really season the actual pasta itself. One chef's tip I have is season every layer of your dish when you cook. If you build layers with seasoning, it'll taste a lot better. It'll taste like something you get in a restaurant. And if you want to stick to a healthy lifestyle, the food has got to taste good. So it's really important that you cook things that are flavorful. And so that's something I really try to teach with Healthy Passion recipes, is how to build simple recipes that really taste amazing, so that way you have no trouble staying on track because you actually enjoy the process of the food. So next thing I'm gonna do, pasta's in, and you wanna cook it about a minute less than the box states, simply because you want it to have a little bit of a bite. That's another thing I feel like most people overcook their pasta. You want it to be al dente or to the tooth. Okay, so I've got garlic. I'm gonna go ahead and just get that going into a skillet. So I'm gonna give it a whack and just peel it. And like in most of my recipes, we're not getting crazy here. We're just gonna thinly slice the garlic. That's gonna keep it, number one, most importantly, from burning. If you've ever burned your garlic, you know that bitter flavor. No good. The second thing is that it's quicker than mincing it. And the third reason why I like to thinly slice my garlic instead of mince it in most cases is because it gives a nice surface area, which is really gonna infuse a lot of garlic flavor into the dish. And again, the name of the game with all my recipes is flavor, flavor, flavor. I really like to just pack that flavor. So thin slices are gonna go in, and I have my skillet off. I'm actually just gonna go ahead and get several of my ingredients in, and then we'll turn it on. Next thing I've got is a shallot, and this is a big guy. I'll show you guys what the actual shallot looks like. This is like 2 of them stuck together. We're just gonna break that open, save this one for later. And I love working with shallots because I use the entire thing. A lot of times I'll, buy an onion and I only use half for a recipe, and then I toss it in the fridge and I forget about it. So while shallots can be a little pricier, you could totally stub an onion, or half of an onion in this case. I just love them. They're a very mild oniony flavor. I just feel like they're just lovely. So again, you don't have to use them. You could totally use half of an onion. I would use a yellow onion in this recipe. But if you guys haven't ever used a shallot before, do not be intimidated. They're so good. And I'm just thinly slicing it. I want like nice pieces of it here. So that is going in. I'm just kind of leaving the clutter on my board. And then for our mushrooms, I am going to take these cremini mushrooms. You could use a white mushroom, a button mushroom. I've got creminis. Any mushroom will do. I'm going to say probably 8 ounces. I want a good bit. So we're just going to take those and kind of roughly chop them. And I'm going to take them and actually quarter them. So we're going to do, because I want like good mouthfeel here. I don't want them to get mushy. So these are pretty small. If you have larger mushrooms, maybe take them in like third or, I don't know, eighth them. But these guys I'm just going to take it again. Hands off, I'm just getting everybody in so it can all cook together. One tip for mushrooms, if you're working with mushrooms and they're a little dirty like these ones are, I'm just going to give them a little like whack and kind of bump the dirt off. But take a damp paper towel and you can just wipe your mushrooms. You never want to wash your mushrooms because they'll actually absorb water and become really mushy. Okay, so I'm going to move my dirt aside. I'm lazy. I just tend to kind of give them a little rub and call it good enough. So if you're like me, feel free to do that as well. I'm also that girl that doesn't rinse her quinoa, so I can't do it all, I guess. Okay, so that is going in. I'm gonna do a couple more. And then we're just gonna get the heat under here and saute all 3 of our ingredients together with a little olive oil and salt. And basically by the time the pasta's done, our ingredients should be in good shape. Okay, there we go, that looks pretty good. And you could buy pre-chopped mushrooms. I feel like mushrooms are one of those things, you know, I'm not a huge fan of buying pre-chopped things. I'd rather pre-chop it myself over the weekend. I feel like mushrooms just tend to dry out. So I would not recommend pre-chopping them. I'm using about a tablespoon of olive oil in here. But if you are one of those people who, you know, you come home from work after a busy day and you only have 10 minutes to get dinner on a table, chopping your mushrooms up over the weekend would be a good tip. Okay, so I've got medium heat, shallot, garlic, mushrooms are in my pan. I'm gonna get my ricotta cheese measured out here. I'm actually gonna clean up my area, my workspace. That's something I like to do as I cook. I used to not do that and I would wait till the end and I'd have like an explosion in the kitchen. Now that I've matured a little bit, I do like to clean it up as I go. Because after this meal is done, I literally have one dirty skillet, one dirty pot, and that's it. So it's a pretty quick cleanup, which is nice. That's the other thing I really try to do with these recipes is simplify the process so that you don't have a lot of cleanup afterwards either. Okay, so I'm gonna get my ricotta in. I need about a half cup of ricotta cheese. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna saute all this, and then we're gonna stir in the ricotta, and we're gonna add pasta water, and that's gonna make this really creamy, velvety, smooth, delicious sauce that's gonna coat our pasta. And if you've never saved pasta water before, that is my tip to make a really great sauce because the starches, when you cook your pasta, the starches in the pasta release into the water and create a nice like starchy liquid that will actually thicken and help coat the pasta with the sauce. So anytime you make pasta, save a little of that water. You never know if you're gonna need it. If you have a sauce that you want to thin out or you want to thicken up or you want to make sure it coats the pasta, just add a little bit of that water and you're good to go. Okay, so then I've got my spinach and I'm just using about 2 cups of spinach here. 2 nice cups. It's almost gone. I hate that when you have like this much left. I need to put it in a smaller container. So 2 cups of spinach, I got that measured out. I mean, how do we just wait? Which that's another thing I love about this recipe is it means I can have a little wine while I wait. So tonight I am pairing this with my low sugar wine 2021 Dove Hunt Dog Cab. This is actually our current favorite wine. We opened it last night and it is so flavorful and full bodied and there's so much like big bold fruit. So if you like cabs, if you like bold wines, you're gonna love this one. It has 0.114 grams per liter, or not grams per liter, 0.114 carbs. in the 5-ounce pour, which this is only like probably 3 ounces, and 104 calories. So if you're trying to do a little better, this is a good way to kind of cut down on the sugar and the calories, is swapping your wine. So I'll link my group. I have a group that's all about low sugar wine. So if you want to come hang out, we do wine tastings, we share recipes, we have a lot of fun. All right, so I'm going to add a tiny bit more olive oil. So maybe a tablespoon and a half of olive oil in this recipe, just because I want that oil to really get infused with the garlic. And this is actually a recipe that I stir a little more than normal, just because I really want to make sure that I get those onions or those shallots kind of coating the mushrooms. I want to flavor the mushrooms with the shallots and garlic. Okay. Pasta's getting close. Yum. Okay, so spinach is going to go in. Again, season every layer of your dish. A little more salt. And then I'm going to, before I forget, get my pasta water. And I'm just stirring the spinach around to sort of wilt it. And our pasta should be pretty well done. I'm not sure why I have my oven on. Okay, so that looks good. Now I'm going to add my ricotta cheese and my pasta water. And basically what you want to do here is just break down the ricotta into a nice creamy sauce. So it takes a minute, so don't be like, oh my gosh, like, it's not doing anything. You just want to kind of let it cook, and you want to make sure, I didn't get like a full quarter cup, you want to make sure you have a good bit of that pasta water. Okay, that looks good. And our pasta should be done, so I'm actually just going to take it and put it straight in to the pan. If you do have to drain it, totally fine. Okay, let me get that in, and I actually like going straight into the pan. I just feel like it saves, again, on dishes. So if you have one of these little spiders, put it to use. If you don't have one, another tool that I recommend and love. Okay, so now we're just going to kind of mix everything together and let that sauce thicken up a little bit. I also like to pull my pasta out when it's al dente to allow it to really finish cooking in the sauce. I feel like it gets more flavor that way as well. Turn that back burner off, and this will take about a minute, again, just to kind of let everybody coat in there. Okay, so this out of the way. Fresh thyme is the last ingredient. I've got a couple sprigs of thyme. I'm just going to take them and kind of pull them over my pasta. What you want to do to remove thyme from the stem is hold at the bottom and pull your leaves in the opposite direction. So that helps kind of remove it. Mine's a little dried out. I have it in the fridge and then I put it on the counter. That's another tip for herbs. If you don't use like your hardy herbs within a couple days, you can just pull them out and put them on the countertop, and they'll actually start to dry and you can still use them. So like sage is a good one, rosemary, thyme, oregano. If you have them in the fridge, I feel like they tend to get like moldy and gross. So, okay, that looks pretty good. Now the next step is just to give it a season. I'm turning the heat off. Actually, give it a taste first and then season. Always season as you go. That's another little hack. If you want your food to taste good, don't wait till it gets to the table. I'm gonna see how it tastes. I'm excited. It's so hot. I don't know if y'all can see. It's very hot. One more salt, one more black pepper, and then I am going to add the Romano into the recipe. I feel like that little bit of like saltiness will be so good. So I'm going to use a couple tablespoons, like 2, I would say, of Pecorino Romano. You could also use Parmigiano Reggiano cheese, but this is a sheep's milk cheese. It's gonna have a nice bite and a nice salty flavor. And I just feel like it's gonna add. There's something about thyme, mushrooms, and pecorino romano cheese. It just goes so well together. So tasty. Okay. This looks so good. One more taste, just to make sure it's absolutely perfect. And the shallots are sweet. I just love the little bit of sweetness they add and that garlic. Gosh, it's so hot. I think I burned the roof of my mouth on the first try. We'll try this again though. So good. I think it's gonna pair perfect with this wine. So good. All right, well that is it for tonight. We are 17 minutes in, so I talked a lot, but definitely something you can pull together in 15 minutes at home. The full recipe again will be in A Healthy Passion next week, so keep an eye out for it. And if you guys have suggestions on what you want me to make next week or have any things that you need help with, let me know. Otherwise, I'll see you guys here soon. Bye.